REST API is lying to you. Every request ships a wall of JSON. Field names, colons, curly braces, all pure noise. Same user object, 43 bytes in JSON, 9 in protobuf. Your CPU parsing text. Your bandwidth paying for field names the receiver already knows. gRPC fixes this. Built by Google for its own infrastructure, it now powers Kubernetes, encode, Envoy, and CockroachDB. Binary encoding, HTTP/2 multiplexing, and client code that writes itself. By the end of this, you will understand every single byte that crosses the wire. We cover everything. What gRPC is, how protobuf encodes data to binary, how HTTP/2 multiplexes streams, the full RPC lifecycle, all 4 streaming patterns, and production deployment. What is gRPC? gRPC is a framework for calling functions on a different machine. You call getUser on your client. It executes on a server somewhere else. The network hop is invisible to your application code. It all starts with a .proto file, your API contract. You declare your data types, your field names, and your service methods. Both client and server agree on this contract before a single byte is exchanged. Run protoc, the protocol buffer compiler, and it generates typed client stubs and server interfaces in Go, Python, Java, Rust, or C++. No HTTP handlers to write. No JSON parsing. Just call the generated stub directly. 3 pillars hold gRPC together. Protocol buffers, binary encoding, 7 times faster than JSON. HTTP/2, 1 connection, thousands of concurrent streams. Encode generation, typed stubs that eliminate an entire class of bugs. REST versus gRPC in real numbers. Same user object. JSON is 200 bytes. Protobuf is 80. REST opens a new TCP connection per request. gRPC multiplexes thousands of calls on 1 persistent connection. REST contracts are optional guidelines. gRPC contracts are compiled code. Google runs billions of gRPC calls per second internally. Kubernetes uses gRPC between its control plane and every node. Netflix, Dropbox, Slack, all production gRPC. This is not a niche framework. Protocol buffers, the binary encoding engine. Protocol buffers never sends field names on the wire. JSON ships user ID as text on every message. Protobuf sends the number 1. The schema tells both sides that field 1 is user ID. Your proto file defines messages. Each field gets a type, a human-readable name, and a unique field number. That number is what physically travels on the wire. Field 1, user ID. Field 2, name. The names exist only for you, the developer. Small integers encode to a single byte using varints, variable length integers. Each byte uses 7 bits for data and 1 bit to signal whether more bytes follow. The number 1 byte. 300, 2 bytes. You pay only for what you use. Every field is a tag plus a value. The tag encodes field number and wire type. Type 0, varint, for integers. Type 2, strings and bytes. Type 5, 32-bit fixed values. The tag alone tells the decoder how to parse what follows. Let us trace the actual bytes. User ID 42, name Alice. Field 1, type 0, 1 tag byte, 1 varint byte for 42. Field 2, type 2, tag, length 5, 5 UTF, 8 bytes for Alice. 9 bytes total. The same message in JSON, 43 bytes. Backward compatibility is built in. Add a new field to your proto file. Old clients see the unknown field number and skip it. The wire type tells them how many bytes to jump. They keep working without changes. One rule: never reuse a field number. Ever. The numbers are not subtle. Protobuf serialization is 7 times faster than JSON. Payloads are 60% smaller. At 10,000 requests per second, this is the difference between a manageable infrastructure bill and a real crisis. HTTP/2, the transport engine. HTTP 1.1 has a fatal flaw, head-of-line blocking. One TCP connection, one request at a time. Need 10 concurrent calls? You open 10 separate connections. It is the worst possible use of network resources. HTTP/2 introduces streams. On a single TCP connection, you open thousands of independent streams. Client and server interleave frames from different streams freely. At the receiver, they reassemble into separate responses. One connection, unlimited concurrency. Every HTTP/2 frame starts with a 9-byte header. 3 bytes for payload length. 1 byte for frame type, headers, data, or settings. 1 byte for flags. 4 bytes for stream ID, which of the thousands of concurrent streams this frame belongs to. Headers cost bandwidth. HTTP/2 solves this with HPACK compression. Both sides maintain a shared lookup table of previously sent headers. After the first request, content type application/gRPC becomes a single index number. The next 1,000 requests send 1 byte instead of 24. Flow control prevents fast senders from crushing slow receivers. Every stream has a credit window. The receiver grants credits. Bytes the sender may transmit. Hit 0 credits, you pause. The receiver sends a window_update frame, and you resume. No buffer overflows. No drop data. gRPC adds its own framing on top of HTTP/2. A 5-byte prefix before every message. 1 byte for compression flag, 4 bytes for message length. The receiver reads 5 bytes, knows exactly how many more to collect, then proto buff decodes the complete message. Here is something unique to gRPC. The final status code travels as HTTP/2 trailers, headers sent after the body, not before. The server can stream gigabytes of data and then tell you whether it succeeded or failed. A gRPC channel manages the underlying HTTP/2 connection. 5 states: connecting, ready, idle, transient_failure, and shutdown. Keep alive pings detect dead connections automatically. The full RPC call lifecycle. You call getUser on your generated stub. The stub serializes your request struct with protobuf, wraps it in a 5-byte length prefix, and passes it to the gRPC channel. The channel opens a new HTTP/2 stream. Before the bytes leave your process, they pass through client interceptors, your middleware pipeline. A tracing interceptor stamps a trace ID. An auth interceptor injects your JWT. A retry interceptor wraps the call. They run in a defined order every call. The request hits the wire as 2 HTTP/2 frames. First, a headers frame carrying the method path, deadline, content type, and any call metadata. Then, a data frame carrying the 5-byte prefix and the serialized protobuf payload. The server reads the headers frame and routes to the right handler. It reads data frames, strips the 5-byte prefix, and protobuf decodes the payload into your typed request struct. Server interceptors run, auth validation, logging, rate limiting, before control ever reaches your handler function. Your handler returns a response struct. The framework serializes it with protobuf, adds the 5-byte prefix, and sends it as a data frame on the same stream. A headers frame with trailers carries the status, gRPC status 0 for success, or an error code. Deadlines are the most important feature nobody uses correctly. Set a deadline on the client. It propagates to every downstream call automatically. Service A calls B calls C. Each inherits the remaining budget. When it expires, all 3 cancel simultaneously. No zombie requests. Set deadlines. Always. For streaming patterns. Pattern 1. Unary. 1 request, 1 response. Your standard function call. getUser, create order, delete record. 90% of your gRPC calls will be unary. Simple, fast, easy to reason about. Start here. Pattern 2. Server streaming. 1 request, then the server sends messages until it closes the stream. Think of it as a subscription. Watch a Kubernetes pod for status changes. The client sends one watch call and receives events as they happen. The server calls send in a loop. Pattern 3. Client streaming. The client sends a stream of messages. The server collects them all and returns one response. Uploading a large file in chunks. Streaming sensor readings. The client calls send repeatedly, then close send, and the server returns its single result. Pattern 4. Bidirectional streaming. Both sides stream simultaneously and independently. The client does not wait for the server, and the server does not wait for the client. Think of a collaborative document editor. Keystrokes flow in real time in both directions. A persistent channel with full duplex communication. Under the hood, this is HTTP/2 doing what it was designed for. Each message is a length-prefixed protobuf payload sent as one or more data frames on the same stream ID. The END_stream flag on the final frame signals completion. The proto file declares the pattern. Add the stream keyword before the request, the response, or both. The generated stubs match exactly. Production patterns at scale. Load balancing gRPC is not the same as load balancing REST. HTTP/2 connections are persistent. A layer 4 load balancer pins all calls to whichever server the initial connection landed on. The fix, client-side load balancing. Resolve DNS, get multiple backends, round-robin the calls, or use Envoy. gRPC defines a standard health checking protocol. Implement the gRPC health v1 service with a check RPC returning serving or not _serving. Kubernetes has supported native gRPC health probes since version 124. Your orchestrator and load balancer use the same endpoint. gRPC has built-in retry policies. Configure per method, maximum attempts, which status codes are retryable, and exponential backoff. There is also hedging. Send the same request to multiple backends simultaneously and take the first response. Trades load for reduced tail latency. No code changes needed. Enable server reflection for debugging. Your server exposes its full proto schema at runtime. gRPC lets you call any gRPC endpoint from the terminal without the proto file, just like curl does for REST. gRPC gives you a browser-based UI. Security defaults. Channels use TLS in production. For service-to-service auth, use mutual TLS. Both sides present certificates. Both sides verify. For user-level auth, JWT tokens flow as call metadata, typically the authorization header. Server interceptors validate the token before your handler runs. 5 things that separate amateur gRPC from production gRPC. Typed stubs, client-side load balancing, deadline propagation, health checks, and mutual TLS. The complete mental model. One more time, top to bottom. You write a proto file, the contract. Proto compiles it to typed stubs. The client calls a method. The stub serializes the request with protobuf. The gRPC framework adds a 5-byte prefix and sends it as HTTP/2 data frames on a multiplex stream. Interceptors authenticate and log. Your handler runs. The response reverses the path. The headline numbers. Protobuf payloads are 60% smaller than JSON. Serialization is 7 times faster. gRPC latency beats REST by 48% on small payloads. For streaming patterns out of the box. API contracts enforced at compile time. Use gRPC wherever services talk to services, internal APIs, microservice meshes, anything machine-to-machine where performance and type safety matter. Use REST at the public edge where browsers need simplicity. The best systems use both. gRPC is protocol buffers plus HTTP/2 plus code generation. 3 battle-tested technologies that make distributed systems feel like local function calls. Now you know exactly how every byte of it works. If this helped, subscribe, more deep dives coming.